Hey everybody, Dr. Ray here, and today what I'm going to do is I'm going to review the Garmin Instinct Esports Watch. Very cool watch, just released recently by Garmin. What I'm going to do is I want to talk about some of the features that make this unique. I want to talk about the Garmin Instinct in general, and then I'm going to talk about what I like and don't like about the watch. All right, so the first thing. The watch costs $299 on Garmin's website, so you can buy it there, $299, and pay attention to prices because they always like decrease, increase, and all that good stuff. So always pay attention to prices. You could be watching this in a year from now and be like, well, the watch is only $199 or whatever. This guy's wrong. It's just because they changed the prices. All right. So overall, the watch, you can see how it looks on my wrist. Looks great, feels great. Has a great battery life. Battery lasts 14 days easily. It's actually lasting longer for me depending on how I'm using it. And I want to get into all those details and stuff. But one of the first things I want to do is I want to talk about what makes this watch unique. So first of all, compared to all the other Instincts, all the other Garmin watches, all the other watches, everything has is something called Stream Up. So let's talk about what that is and let me show you an example. So what this watch does is it allows you to stream some biometrics from the watch to your stream on Twitch, YouTube, or wherever. Let me dig in. Let's get into Stream Up. Let me talk about the installation and stuff and show you what it actually looks like. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to install Stream Up on your computer. So I have a Windows PC. I have an Alienware PC. It took me maybe 3 seconds to download the file, maybe 30 seconds to install it on my computer, and I was pretty much ready to go. So once you install Stream Up, let me pull it up right now so you can take a look at what it looks like. All right, so you can see Stream Up has started on my computer. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set my watch to the esports activity. I'll just show you how quick it is. Look at that, connected in 1 second. I haven't even connected to the activity yet. Already connected in 1 second. As soon as it pops up, you can see all this crazy stuff on the screen, and you're like, what is this? Okay, so what it does, it streams 3 different things. Your heart rate, your stress, and your body battery. And I'm going to talk about why that stuff is important or not, but let me show you Stream Up first, then let's get into that. All right, so the first thing here, you can see this is a mock-up of me, I guess, or just someone streaming it, but this is what it would look like on your screen. This is a very simple piece of software, so there's not much you can do with it. It's pretty basic. You got your heart rate, stress, body battery. Over here, you can choose how you want it to look. You can see I'm clicking and see what it does over here. You can select different colors if you want to. I'm not going to mess with that. You can have various overlays, so right now it's set to none. But like if I select the heart, what that means is when it hits this threshold of 103, this heart will do that right away, which is pretty cool. You can get some neat features like in a stressful situation, the heart's going to appear on the screen kind of stuff, which is pretty neat. I like that. I like those thresholds. And then you could change whether you want to animate it or not. All right. You can mess with the background and you can have the powered by Garmin symbol there if you would like to. That's it. Very basic piece of software. That's all it does. Now, to get this to work, you simply click Create Overlay. Once you click the Create Overlay button, you need to actually find somewhere to stream this. So, what do? I personally use OBS. So let's open up OBS and show you how this works. All right, so I've pulled OBS open. Now, what you see here on the screen is a pre-recorded stream that I did in League of Legends, because I'm a big League of Legends player, right? This is an old stream that I just recorded, and I'm just playing it so that you can see a sample, because I can't actually record my screen and stream and do all this stuff at the same time on my computer. It wouldn't like that very much. We'd get overprocessed, overheat, probably blow up. No, it wouldn't really do that, but I just want to show you the example. All right, so to get Stream Up to work. All right, so right now I have the Stream Up hidden. I'm going to make it so it's viewable, and voila, you can see it right on the screen. So how did I get it to show up? Really simple. I just went to plus window capture. Let me show you my exact window. Properties. I just found it. It's called Stream Up Values. Clicked OK. That's simple. That's all I had to do. And I can move this anywhere on the screen. You can see this is currently connected to my heart rate. So you can see my HR right now is 65, 64, 63. It's moving. This is live, which is just, it connected that simple. I literally download the software, took less than a minute total. Set it up, which once you know how to do it, also took me less than a minute. and boom, right on OBS. Super simple. And then all I need to do is start streaming or start recording, and you would have it in game. And obviously with this window, depending on what software you're using, you know, I prefer OBS. You can make it big, small, super cool that it works that easily. Okay, let's close OBS now and let me talk about, well, you know what? I can keep OBS open and let me talk about these features. So once I talk about these features, then we're going to talk about the actual watch itself. So let's see. Why did Garmin choose to show, why should we have these features on a stream? Why does it matter? Why should anyone care? So let's talk about that. So first of all, I think showing heart rate, stress, and body battery are pretty cool. So if you're not familiar with what body battery is like your gas tank. It's literally a human gas tank, and it's unbelievable how accurate it actually is. I've been using body battery for a number of years with my Garmin Forerunner 945. It's just the coolest thing. It's literally a human gas tank. If you search reviews of it online, people are going to say like it's awesome. It's really cool. Like if I get a bad night's sleep, if my gas tank didn't recharge overnight, like it knows. It's freakishly accurate. All right. So what does that mean? So what it means is, when I'm training, so, you know, as you know, I am a coordinator for an esports program, and we have a number of teams. So when my students are training and practicing and stuff, if they're going into a tournament and I see like, okay, well, after 3 hours of gameplay, your body battery is on low, it's probably going to start affecting their gameplay. This is why this training portion is so important and so key to being and showing up at your best. So when my players come into a tournament, I want to see all of them have a really high body battery. They should be 100% rested and ready to go. Because sometimes in these tournaments, we're playing multiple games throughout the day, depending on what time they are and how they're staggered. And what kind of tournament it is, too. Some tournaments, it's only one game. Some tournaments, they might play 5, 6, 7 games in one day. So I want them to show up fully ready. I can see right now, as soon as they start their stream, or I can walk around and look at all their computers, my students are ready to go. They're ready to train. You know, there's so many cool, and it would be cool like to watch, like in a stressful situation, like a good play in the game. Is the player's stress level high? Is the player's heart rate high? To monitor those kind of things and learn how to train well. Because you can realize, well, hey, after 2 hours of gameplay, my body battery drains this much, and I notice that I don't perform as well. So you start to multiply those things together and you say, wow, this data is actually telling me something cool. So that's why I love this. That's why it's super cool. All right, let me close OBS out and let's get back into talking about the Garmin Instinct. So that stream up, that's why this is awesome for esports. And the other thing is, so let's start out with I talked a little bit, I said I like the watch face. So the watch face of this, first of all the Garmin Instinct's watch faces are a little different. I personally don't like that. I wish they just had a Garmin Instinct that did everything. And like there's a surf one and stuff. I'm a surfer. So like I wish this one also did all the surfing stuff. Like each of them does like one little feature different. How about just like have a Garmin Instinct that does everything and I can pick and choose what I want to use that day. So the face of the esports watch, which is kind of cool, has a little video game icon that tells you how many hours you've been playing that day, which is really neat. It also records your gameplay as an activity in Garmin. That's nice, but I wish it was like separated somehow from other Garmin activities like running and stuff, because I'm a runner and I use Strava and all this stuff. And all of a sudden Strava and Training Peaks are like calculating other stats for workouts that I don't want to be mixed in with gameplay. So I think there needs to be a better separation in the software there, and I think that'll eventually happen. It's just not there yet. But pretty cool. It tells you your gameplay. The face of this watch is the most beautiful watch face I've ever had. It's better than my Apple Watch. It's better than my Forerunner 945. And guess what? It's all black and white. It's just because it's so crisp and clear. I'm not sure you can see it in the camera. It's just, it looks like a picture. It's so crisp and clear. I don't even mind that there's no color because it's so crisp and clear. I can see this from so far away. It's such a nice, clean face. Watch itself looks pretty cool. It feels like the old like Casio G-Shock watches, which I used to love. Like it's very rugged, waterproof, all that neat stuff. Like it feels like a pretty tough watch, which I actually really like that about it. I think that's awesome. I wish my Apple Watch in 945 felt like that. So I really, really like that about it. Watchface. Cool that it shows the gaming time. All right, let's talk about some other stuff. So some of the stuff the watch lacks, it does lack VO2 max, which I wish it's not that important because I get that this is for esports, not necessarily for like running. But I think any watch that says training should include VO2 max, especially because the other watches at the $300 price point, like the Apple Watch SE, or whatever Apple has at $300, does include VO2 max. And so I feel like it should have that since the other watches at the price point do. There's no reason this watch doesn't have it, especially because watches that are cheaper by Garmin, like the Vivo Sport and Vivo Smart, which are like 3-4 years old, do include that. So like this should have that. Another thing this watch lacks that it should have is while it can control music from my phone, you can't store music on here. Since other watches at that price point allow you to do that, again, the Apple Watch allows you to do that at $300, so should this. Those are two things I think are lacking from this watch that I think it should have. As far as battery goes, oh man, this thing it literally lasts forever. It's lasting way more than obviously my Apple Watch only lasts like a day. My 945 lasts about between like 5 and 10 days. This thing, they say 2 weeks. Man, this is going, I swear I only charge this thing like once every 3 weeks. It's like literally kicks butt and just like lasts forever. Really cool that it does that. I mean, that's nice. I like that. It's awesome. All right, let's get into some activities and talk about activities that the watch has. All right, so it does weightlifting. So I've lifted weights with it. It works the same way as the 945 and it counts your reps and stuff like that. Works really well for weightlifting. Works really well for biking. I've tested the GPS a number of times. GPS is great. Works just honestly like I tested it. I test all my watches against Apple Watch 945 and then I tested this. So all three, they're all basically the same exact distance. Good enough for me. Great GPS. Same with heart rate. Heart rate monitor seems very accurate, just like all my other watches, especially when I'm sitting still. Seems great. Works really well. So it's got the heart rate monitor. It does all that stuff like tracks your steps and activity and all that good stuff that all these watches do. I've used it for biking. Works really well. It does not connect to a power meter, so that can be a deal breaker for some people. It does connect to speed and cadence sensors though, that's all I personally need. So that's a great thing. So I've used it for surfing. It doesn't have an actual surfing app. So what I actually use is the stand-up paddleboard app. I do the same thing on my Forerunner 945, and that seems to work really well for surfing. I just wish they had the surfing app on this because I'm a surfer. So let's get on that. All right. It tracks running, does like your cadence, heart rate, distance, all that good stuff with running. So it did really well. We went on a family camping trip, so I used this for a hike. I compared it to my 945, did really well. Has some of the cool features like back to start, like in case if you get lost and stuff, that my Forerunner 945 has. I was really impressed with that. The GPS on this seems great, and I really like that feature about it. It does work for swimming. I've not been able to test it for swimming because it's kind of like winter right now. And I usually do swim in an indoor pool in the winter, but I haven't because of COVID this year. So I haven't been able to test it for swimming, but I've used so many other Garmin watches for swimming that I can tell you that assuming it's like all the others, it should be pretty good. I've actually have great experience swimming with pretty much all the Garmin and Apple and other watches I always test. They always seem to do a pretty good job swimming. Disadvantage, no underwater heart rate with swimming, which I do wish it had because I actually really like that feature on my 945 and Apple Watch. They both have that. So I do wish it had that feature. And I noticed like the Instinct Surf does have that feature. So, those are my thoughts on the watch. That's it. It's Garmin Esports Watch. Here's the box. Just to show you what the box looks like. Here's my 945 box. Here's my Esports Watch box. Do I think that we're going to use this in training with my students? I think it's definitely a tool that all pro and serious teams will want to start to consider. Thinking about how do you actually train esports players, and these biometrics are extremely important to anyone who's in any kind of sport, and they're very telling. And it's not only the fact that it displays on your stream screen, that's like an added bonus. It's all the statistics that it's telling someone while they are training. You know, part of esports is eating healthy, being physically active, being fit, ready to go, you know, like lifting weights, all that good stuff. I mean, it is about more than just gameplay, and training is a huge part of that, and tracking that to show progress. But being able to go into a game and know if your students are mentally and physically ready for the game is a huge advantage. It's why the body battery, which handles that physical aspect, is super important. So I really like that. I think Garmin's onto something here. As I said, the watch costs $299, which I think is a good price point. I probably, since it does lack the VO2 Max and lack of music, and Apple Watch has that, I probably would like to see it closer to the $250 price point. I feel like would be better. So those are two things I do wish it had. I also wish all the Garmin watches had the surfing app, because my 945 doesn't have that either. And you know, so those are the things that I wish it did have. I really do like it. I think it's a really cool watch. I love the Instinct. I think it's great. I think it's a really cool watch. It does a lot. It's got the nicest watch face out of any watch I've seen whatsoever. So I'm really glad that I've been able to review this thing and have it and wear it around. Like it's pretty cool. And I've been showing it to and talking to a number of folks involved in esports about what the advantages of this kind of technology are. I'm really excited to see that expand and get better. I do wish Garmin just had one Instinct that just I could pick between surfing and esports, and they have like a bunch of others too. I'm not as interested in them. Those are the two features, like all combined together in one, because it gets a little confusing for the end user. But if you're thinking about getting this for someone involved in video games or esports, I think it's a cool little gadget. I think these biometric stats are so useful, as you probably have noticed from my other channels. And if you're more interested in finding out just about body battery, the fuel thing I talked about, I've done another video on that. So check that out, because I posted my review and it showed like detailed things about body battery that you can find out. But yeah, that's it. If you have any questions for me, please post in the comment section. Always remember to subscribe and like the video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Later, all.